Yes, as part of the Immigrant Listening Project, the Greater Cleveland Immigrant Support Network will conduct an interview today with Akram from Gaza, Palestine. Tell us a little bit about why you came to the United States, Akram.
Actually, I'm here for studying my PhD, doing my PhD in the field of economic development at the CSU. So I'm here for 2 years to 3 years to do my project that concerning studying and making reform in the Palestinian Authority institutions in the field of public administration and economic development.
And you will be here for how long, do you think?
I think the project for 3 years, and I spent 2 years, and I have another year. Fortunately, I am doing good in my studies, so I will finish before 3 years and trying to go back home. But unfortunately I am not able to go back because the siege on Gaza, the Israeli siege on Gaza, the Israeli blockage over Gaza, and it's impossible to go in for anybody or to get out from Gaza.
And I also understand the siege is stopping medicine and other supplies from going in and other things from coming out, such as agricultural goods cannot be sold. Is that true?
Yes, actually, the siege on Gaza is inhuman action from the Israeli authorities and the Israeli government against the 1.8 million people living in Gaza. This is a complete siege on Gaza for more than 2 years without any medicine, without any food entering Gaza, with no fuel to Gaza, no electricity to generate the hospitals and the schools in Gaza. So the situation is awful there and so difficult for people to live. Many people need medication, and they are unable to have this medication or the accessibility for this medication. So people died on the checkpoints. People died waiting permits to go out from Gaza. But unfortunately, there is no response from the Israeli government concerning the humanitarian aid to Gaza. They are practicing international crime against the Gaza. They are violating the human rights of many peoples living in Gaza by continuing this inhuman siege.
Do you have family inside of Gaza?
Actually, I have a wife and I have 3 children, 6 years old, 4 years old, and 2.5 years old. And my wife, in addition to my wife, my parents, actually, as many people who are away from their families looking to go back and to be unified with our families over there and to live in peace and security. Every day I am worried about my family, like any family in Gaza, because the shelling, the Israeli shelling, and the every night incursion of the Israeli tanks to Gaza does not or do not make signification or differentiation between people. So they are shelling in random way, they killing in random way, and people every day, the people who are fallen, innocent people, children, women, who are usually fallen in these incursions to Gaza. As you know, it's yesterday, 15th of January, 20 people killed in Gaza at one explosion. You know, one shelling from Israeli government, and the majority of them are innocent people.
We often hear that Israel's reason is due to suicide bombers coming out of Gaza or missiles being shot from Gaza. I understand that it's an unbalanced situation because Israel is the fourth largest military power in the world, and Gaza missiles are a small part of any kind of a military army. But is it actually true that missiles are going out of Gaza into Israel?
I think there is no justification either for the missiles to shell to Gaza or any Israeli incursion to kill people in Gaza. So both sides are unreasonable, unjustified. However, people in Gaza who are shelling a primitive, what they are called missiles, we have to think about what the reasons behind these activities. In Gaza, the poverty reached 75% because the closure of Gaza. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is very difficult. So the 65% of Gaza are youth, and those youth, they have no hope why they are living. So as part of, they recognize their problem that the occupation is still. So they trying to resist the occupation by a primitive issue. And here I am not justifying or saying this action is good or this action is the right way from the Palestinian small brigades. But the reason of this issue is the occupation. In the occupation, let people live free. Give people the hope to build peace between two people, Israeli people and Palestinian peoples, to live together side by side in two independent states. But the Israelis, it seems, till now, they are not willing for peace. They are, for 15 years, they are still saying peace and peace, negotiation and negotiation, and nothing has produced from this negotiation. They use negotiation as a mean to cover the increase and the expansion of settlements, to building the wall. Now the wall cut West Bank into many cantons and small villages. Farmers cannot go to their fields. People cannot go to their work. You cannot move from one city to city in Gaza, in West Bank, as a result of the wall also. So people, the last 10 years, left behind any hope of peace. So they so frustrated, living in poverty, living in a miserable situation. So they're trying to see by using this primitive weapons. Hey, we are here. We would like to international community to hear us. So this is a means and not a goal of the Palestinian people in Gaza. But I am not making justification for any violation or any violence actions. We have to stop the violation from the Israeli side. We have to stop killing of the Israeli side. We have to stop the siege on Gaza. We have to remove the wall from West Bank. In addition, we have to work to ask or to urge Israel to implement the international resolutions, a human rights resolution in the West Bank and in Gaza. There are more than 11,000 detainees in Israeli jails, and a lot of them are children, and more than 100 women who are detained for political reasons in Israel. So once Israel gives some hope to the Palestinian people, then the Palestinian people will understand that peace give a prosperity for them, but the current form of peace negotiation between Palestinians and between the Israelis the last 15 years does not give the Palestinian any hope, but in contrast, the Palestinian people living in poverty in more difficult situation.
Now there's a current move towards peace in the from the Bush administration, as we've heard, and it's sort of almost considered a last-ditch effort by the administration because his presidency is almost ended. Is this? Do you see any hope with this current move towards peace?
It's the previous administrations in the United States used to be in charge of the peace talks, and Israel never be accepted any solution without a pressure from the American administration, because the majority of funds go to Israel come from the American government, from the federal governments, from the dollar tax of the American people. So the previous administrations in Camp David, for example, between Egypt and between Israel, during Clinton administration with Netanyahu government, Israeli Netanyahu government, the administration used to practice pressure on Israel to implement a peace actions on the ground to give hope to the Palestinian people. This administration, a Bush administration, saying we are not going to be in a charge directly to the peace talks, but we are going to encourage both sides. We are not going to practice pressure on Israel. And Bush administration does not bring something new. A Clinton proposal used to be more progressive than the ideas of two states. Two states ideas, it's come since the United Nations resolutions 242, 338. So during the Camp David in 1978, but when he is talking that I have one vision of two states, Palestinian states live side by side to Israeli states, it's not a new thing. What we need an implementation of this vision. We need the American government, American administration that practicing power on Israel to implement this vision. President Bush has been in this position for the last 7-8 years, but now at the end of his period, he is saying, I have a vision to the Palestinians, and this is why he didn't do that 7 years ago. So this is the problem.
Now that U.S. does have a definite stake in this, for one reason, is the fact that Israel is the largest recipient of foreign aid from the United States, and our country, U.S., has supplied most of the weapons that Israel uses. I believe some from France, but most of it's from the U.S. And actually, the U.S. is considered to be in violation of the Arms Export Control Act because these weapons are used on civilians, and when U.S. ships weapons to another nation, they're not supposed to be used on anything but combatants, and these weapons have been used on civilians in Palestine and in Lebanon. So yes, we do have a stake, this country, and each taxpayer does have some kind of a responsibility to what's going on in Gaza, and I think that's why you see some protests going on within the United States. Now, I understand there's some protest within Israel, too. There's some Israeli peace groups, Jewish peace groups within Israel.
Yes, it's the Israeli people and the Jewish people across the world. They are not agree on the Israeli government actions on the ground. The Jewish people here, in, for example, in Cleveland, majority of them are human being, and they